Check, check. Mic check. Thursday night, and it feels like the weekend because tomorrow's Friday, the best day of the week. What is so great about Fridays? Guys, welcome to the live stream. My name's Nate Allball, high school football coach in Illinois. Just started year number 20. Year number 20, coaching high school football. I can't believe it. I hadn't really thought about it all that much coming into this year. But now so we're in practice day 2. Now that we've officially hit 20 years, like practice, and I'm like, this is my 20th year. It feels like a milestone. I'm going to celebrate it as such. Welcome again. Anyway, I've been coaching high school football here in Illinois for 20 years and having a blast doing it. And about 10 years ago, started on Chief Pigskin, which I didn't really know what it was at the time. But now what it is, well, just kind of a constant pursuit of coaching and clinicking and meeting guys, and it has been a blast. My most recent trip was to Southern Indiana, which really the Louisville area, but Southern Indiana to meet with 2 coaches. Right before that, I went to Springfield, Illinois, Chatham, Illinois, Owatonna, Minnesota, and then just north of Brookings, South Dakota, where our coach tonight, Sioux Valley High School, is from, Dan Hughes. And that was the trip before that. And my next trip, we're booking a Cleveland area trip right now and booking the flight for the Utah trip right in the Salt Lake City area for April. And it's fun. It's fun. I'm really enjoying these travels. Once a month, I get out, I travel, I shoot, work a little bit. It has been awesome. Yes, Larry, I've been coaching for 20 years. You believe it? Guys, if you're just getting here, please check in the chat. We appreciate you. We're glad to have you. Our guest tonight, Dan Hughes of Sioux Valley High School, South Dakota. Great dude. And we're going to talk we're going to talk life, right? Just hang out. We're going to play some trivia, but we're going to talk some jet sweep. They did their presentation on the online clinic. Well, he had his OC Ken Vigdal go, and then he and Vigdal worked a lot just in their 20 personnel package. And then Hughes talked, and it was mostly about their jet sweep. Really like what he's doing on the perimeter and how they're blocking the edge. Because I've had some friends go away from edge blocking because, and it's justified, they continue to get called for holding. It's like we try to run rocket, we get called for holding. We try to run rocket, we get called for holding. So at the end of the day, you're going, how do I keep calling it? I think Coach Hughes has got a good way to teach it that could keep you out of trouble, at least get you less calls on holding so that you can get that horizontal stretch back in your playbook. We all know how important it is. Hey, right before I bring in Coach Hughes, I want to shout out my sponsor. My sponsor is Coach Klee, fellow football coach out of Michigan. And look him up on Twitter at Coach Klee, Klee. But also, click right below. You can do it right now. Click below. I'm going to show you this in my browser. There's my trivia that's coming up later. Right here, right below, you click below, you can go subscribe to Coach Klee Football, Coaching Football with Brian Klee. He has sponsored this week's live streams and sponsored the $50 giveaway that we're giving today. So one of you coaches is going to win $50 through Venmo. I want to say cold hard cash. It's through Venmo. Does that count? Can I count that as cold hard cash? One of you guys is winning $50 tonight, and it's all thanks to Coach Klee. So give him a follow. Come on, it's free. It takes 2 seconds. Click, subscribe. All right, guys. I'm going to head back. Let's go get Coach Hughes in the house. Here we go. Admit. All right, I think he's on his way. There it is. There's Coach Hughes.
How's it going?
You got me?
I do. I'm dinking around with some film right now. I'll get off of it. Get Zoom up. Yeah, there you are.
You studying film?
Oh yeah.
Now you guys had, I can hear myself in your background there.
Yeah, I had my phone off. Shut that.
Well, welcome, Coach Hughes. We are so glad to have you. I've had one road trip since being out to you, but I was out in your neck of the woods not too long ago, man. Tell the guys where you're from.
We're at Volga, South Dakota. So we're outside Brookings.
Was it, you said Volga?
Yep, Volga. So Sioux Valley High School, which is in Volga. So.
And it's just a tiny little town, right? Right outside Brookings?
Yeah, it's about 2,000 people is all. And Brookings, of course, town of about 25,000, which is 6 miles away. But yeah.
And
so
Brookings is where I learned, Brookings is where South Dakota State is that correct?
South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. In fact, they play Saturday on ESPN Plus. I think they play North Dakota or Illinois State. Anyway, I'll have to check. But
yeah, I know. I've enjoyed having some of that football on the weekends. But yeah, so that you guys know, Brookings is on the eastern edge of South Dakota, and Brookings is where the South Dakota State is. And Volga, Coach's town, is just outside of that. We all know how that works, right? That tiny town just outside the bigger town. Got a couple guys in the chat tonight here. We got Coach McDonald checking in from Southwest Florida, Rough Life. Kyle Pettit in the house out of Falmouth. Or Falmouth. How do you guys say it? I hate saying people's towns wrong. Falmouth, Kentucky, and Brian Gaskin out of Dayton, Ohio. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you. And also, Kyle, am I saying your last name right? Or is it Petit? I don't know. David Thomason in the house out of Oregon. So guys are getting here now. Check in when you get here, wherever you're from, whether it's your first time or 50th time. We love to hear where you're watching from. We were just meeting Coach Dan Hughes. And Coach, how did you end up in South Dakota?
It was crazy. So I'm not from South Dakota. I'm like everybody else, not from South Dakota. So I grew up in Whistler, Nebraska, a small town in northeast Nebraska. Dad was my high school coach. And I went to college. I wanted to play college football. Wasn't the best player in the world, but I just loved football. But ended up going to Chadron State College. Got to play on some great teams, win some conference championships. Played with Danny Woodhead for a year. I'm sure he has no clue who I am. But I was a fifth-year senior when he was a freshman. But
okay.
Anyway, and then got a assistant high school job at York, Nebraska, which is a pretty decent-sized school in Nebraska. Got to be responsible for a lot of things there. Learned a lot there. Then moved to Fremont, Nebraska, to Loganview High School, and was assistant there again, a little bigger town. School is a little smaller than York, but it's still pretty good size. And then I got the itch. So I got my administration degree like everybody else gets their degrees and stuff. And it's like, you know what? I can't do this until I'm a head football coach. I got to be a head football coach before I go down this other path. And so wife and I, we decided to apply for every job within a certain radius of our parents in northeast Nebraska, and didn't apply anywhere outside of Nebraska. But there was this one that was technically inside this radius in South Dakota, and we decided, what the heck, we'll send them a packet too, a resume and all this other stuff. Well, heck, the superintendent drove down to Omaha. We lived outside of Omaha, about 10 miles. Drove down to Omaha and interviewed and offered me the job on the spot. I told my wife, we'll just be up there for a couple of years is all. We'll be right back. That was 8 seasons ago. So.
And now you're a South Dakota guy.
I ain't going back.
You love
perfect.
it.
I love it up here. Love it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the best way to get it done, man. And that's so awesome. He drove down there. We got a couple more guys checking in. Dakota Bowden, it looks like. Bowden out of Avon, South Dakota.
All right.
Is that a guy you know?
Well, I know some people down in Avon. I know Coach Culver down there. That's
Jerry Payne out of Charleston, Illinois. Welcome back, Jerry. Haven't seen you around a little bit, so glad to have you. Kyle says it's Pettit, and fall like pal, so foul and Falmouth, okay? Jason Bauer in the house out of Mobridge, South Dakota. That's a new face. Welcome. So glad to have you guys here. Thanks for checking in. Tonight, we're going to chat with all this in about half an hour. Not going to lie, we almost always go over 5 minutes at least. We're going to chat with Coach, talk life, talk football. We're going to play trivia. You'll see up above where it says on the wheel, Gonsalves, Thomason. Those are the guys that have their name on the wheel from winning trivia this week.
All right.
So we're going to play 1 5-question trivia. Anybody who's tied for the lead gets their name on the wheel. Then we're going to spin the wheel, and the winner's getting $50 through Venmo. Compliments of our sponsor, Coach Klee, a fellow football coach out of Michigan. I want to ask you guys to subscribe to his channel. And while I'm asking for favors, I might as well ask you to give us a thumbs up. Please give us a thumbs up. Those things really help. Coach, what other sports have been a part of your life besides football, whether it's as an athlete or coaching or?
Oh yeah, there's been a couple big ones. I pole vaulted in college. I was a pole vaulter.
No kidding.
For a long time.
What's the highest you've pole vaulted, Coach?
In college, I got 14 feet. So
that's
for
great.
College, it's pretty average, if not below. But it was up there. I fell a long ways. So
once you're pole vaulting 14 feet, that's legit pole vaulting.
It's a line where below that's a line. It's up there.
Yes, it's a little milestone in the world of pole vaulting. You know, I pole vaulted as a freshman in high school, freshman and sophomore, and then I stopped. But my only claim to fame is that I did actually break a pole. And it scared the heck out of me. But as a freshman, the prettiest girl in the school, a senior, she came and checked on my well-being. So totally worth it.
Got to make sure you're all right,
Totally worth it after that. Coach, now tell us about your season this year. It was a COVID season. And listen, I'm on day 2 of a COVID season. Mm-hmm. Like, what was different for you guys? Or did it feel like we're good, we played ball?
It really made us thankful that we got to play football because we knew it could be taken from us at any time.
Right.
So that's a lesson that you try to teach on a normal year, but we got to live it this year, and it was valuable. It was a great teachable experience. It was humbling. So
yeah,
we literally played every game like it was our last.
And what kind of season did you guys have?
We had another good season. Made the semifinals. We're 9-2, ranked in the top 3 all year. So we had our loss was by a touchdown or a couple touchdowns in the semis to the state champion. And then we lost by 10 points to the state runner-up in our league. So those were our 2 losses. We thought we had a team that could have a chance at winning the whole thing. We gave it a really good shot, and you know what? It finished how it finished. So
yeah,
we'll be back next year.
Another great season, and those are fun. I mean, the semifinals are exciting. Very exciting because you're like, oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
1 game away from the state championship, right? I mean, so have you ever been to the state title game with this team?
Semifinals 3 times now. So we'll get there.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. It's probably gonna happen when we least expect it. But yeah, we've played in some big games. We had one year we were 10. We started off 10-0, and in the semis we lost to a team that we beat a couple weeks prior. We were pretty close in.
It happens. Those are heartbreakers, man.
Got to take them 1 week at a time, but
those are heartbreakers. Well, Coach, I want to leave as much time as I can to talk Jet with you. Because I feel like we're going to get into some X's and O's that are fun, and just so you always, just so you're prepared. I like to push. I only really mean half of what I say, but I want to push because I feel like it makes the conversation more interesting. So I'm going to try to push a little bit on your Jet and see where the weaknesses are. All right? Not that there are any. All right. So let's go play a little trivia. Guys in the chat, just so you know, all you got to do is be the first to type the answer into the chat. The first one that comes up gets the point. We put your point on the scoreboard. If you are tied for the lead by the end, your name goes on the wheel. We're spinning that wheel tonight. Coach, we'll talk about the questions, but you can't answer and give it away, okay?
Fair enough.
All right. Go into my browser here. Let's go to the trivia. Now, I always get to football stuff. There's always football stuff, but there's also usually some very random stuff. Question number 1. I feel like we're starting easy. In what city do the Simpsons live? In what city do the Simpsons live? Do you know this one, Coach, without saying it?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this is pretty standard. This is common knowledge, right?
This is one that should be answered. Yes.
Yeah, somebody should get this one quickly. Let's see. I heard there's one of these cities in every state. That's why they chose it.
There's definitely one in South Dakota.
There's definitely one in Illinois. There it is. Thomason got it. The correct answer is Springfield. The Simpsons are from Springfield. There's a picture of Springfield, Simpsonville right there for you guys. Let's go add Thomason to the scoreboard. And listen, Thomason already has his name on the wheel twice, fellas. He doesn't need it on there again. But if he keeps beating you guys, he'll take it. He'll take it. Question 2, Coach. I'm like going back and forth between screens here, scoreboards and all this.
All right.
Question 2. Who and in what year is the only NFL team to go undefeated? Mm-hmm. You got this one too, right, Coach Hughes?
For
sure.
My Aunt Polly, great Aunt Polly's boyfriend played on the team. Guy was graduate of the University of Wyoming. I won't say
really?
Name, that probably give it away. Yeah.
Now she's her current boyfriend, or she dated the guy once.
This would have been a long time ago.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I know all the guys. What's fun about these questions that are fairly common knowledge is then it's just a race to type it in. See, my dad is so good at this trivia, but he's the slowest typer ever, so that's going to slow him down. Thomason said Dolphin 74, but that is incorrect because Bowers got it. It's what year, Coach Hughes? Tell him.
72.
72 Dolphins, baby. Dolphins 72. So that's Jason Bauer. You got your name on the scoreboard. Here we go. Bauer has got 1. Boy, I'll tell you what, Coach Thomason was an inch away from putting everybody away for the night. All right, there they are. There's the 72 Dolphins, and there's my man Larry Zonka. I love that dude. Larry Zonka. He's a legend right there.
Yes, he is.
All right, next question, guys. We're staying on the topic of football. Let's see what you guys got. You think you're so smart, 72 Dolphins? Who was their quarterback? That's question number 3. Who was their quarterback? What do you guys know in the chat? Did you know this one, Coach Hughes?
Yes, and I also, I'm thinking of the backup, too, who had to start 4 games at the end of the year.
Oh, no, yeah. I did not know that. Tell us the backup.
The backup, his name's at the tip of my tongue. He was an ex-Indianapolis Colt. He had to step in when the current person you're asking was injured towards the end of the year and win a few games. I'm going to remember it probably about 10 minutes from now.
Yeah, right at the end of the show, you'll remember. We'll go to sign off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's see who's going to answer. It can't be my dad. Who's it going to be? You remember that ESPN show, Coach Hughes, that was Stump the Schwabby?
Oh yeah, remember the Schwab. He knew so much about hockey. That's where he got made.
Yes, we need a show like that for my dad. Anything 50, 60, 70 sports trivia. He's hard to beat. Gaskin got it. Bob Greasy is the correct answer. Bob Greasy. Let's take a look at a picture of old Greasy. Bob Greasy. And fellas, a little bonus point. This means nothing, but do you guys know who the coach was? The late, great. Tell him, Coach Hughes.
Don Shula.
That's right. The late, great Don Shula. Let's say, who got that one? Who said Greasy? Gaskin got it. All right, Gaskin, you're on the board. Gaskin on the board, fellas. Anybody who's tied for the lead at the end is going on the board. No tiebreakers tonight. Question number 4. This is easy. First and last name of the drummer of the Beatles. Who's got the fastest typing fingers? That's what it's all about right here. I had a young lady that wore a Beatles shirt once a week and this year, and she still couldn't name all 4 Beatles by the end of the semester. I kept telling her. I just kept saying.
Wasn't he the conductor on Shining Time Station?
Was he really?
I believe so.
I don't think I knew that. Oh, you're so close, Coach Payne. You're so close, Thomason.
Real close.
They're all so close. I need a first and last name. There it is. Pettit gets it. Ringo Starr. Like the first 4 guys said Dingo Star. I wonder what it was that made him say Dingo Star, but there he is, Ringo Starr, or as I always called him, the ugly one. The ugly one. That's how it was explained to me. You know, Ringo, the ugly one. Poor guy. I can't feel too bad for him. I'm sure he had a pretty fun life. All right, so who finally said Ringo Starr? Pettit. Pettit's on the board. Fellas, we got one question to go. Either we're going to get a new guy on and 5 guys are getting their name on the wheel tonight, or one of these guys is going to get that second point and just be the only one.
Earl Morrill was the name I was thinking of.
Earl Morrill. Okay. Earl Morrill. Who was the name of their other running back besides Greasy?
Jim Kick.
Jim Kick
was running back.
I felt like there was someone else too that was like had a lot of M's in his name.
Oh, I'm sure. There's obviously Larry Zonka, Jim.
Okay,
Kick.
I can't think of it. Oh, yeah, Jim Kick. I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, everybody said it was autocorrect that changed their names to Dingo. So now we know who's sitting here on their phones. I was like, why is Dingo coming up 4 times? Okay, here we go. Last question, boys. I love this question. What was the first and last name of the real life Rudy? Isn't that a great question? Coach, I stand by the fact that Rudy is the best football movie ever made.
I agree. And also the theme to Rudy is one of the best songs.
Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like, it gives me the chills.
Yes.
It gives me the chill. Mercury Morris, Gaskin said. Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking, Mercury Morris.
Mercury Morris, you bet.
All right, let's see who has the first and last name to Rudy. You know, most of the football world, especially the Twitter football world, won't even put Rudy in their top 5 movies. Football movies.
Interesting.
And I always tell them, I'm like, you guys are so crazy. It's the best one.
Yeah,
like,
the idea that
they say, oh, yeah. Yeah. They go, oh, it's not realistic. I said, well, first of all, it was real.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's a great feeling. So you guys are close. Rudy Rudiger, but his first name was not Rudy. He got the nickname Rudy because his last name was Rudiger. Do you guys know? Yeah, he's giving you a hint. We're waiting on the right answer, fellas. You guys are so close. It is Rudiger. There you go. Gaskin's got it. Daniel Eugene Rudiger. Oh, Rudy. Rudy Rudiger. I'll tell you what. That breaks the tie, which means that Gaskin is in with 2 and is going on the board tonight. He's the only name we're adding. Let's just go spin the wheel now, Coach. Let's do this, and then we can start talking football. Here's our wheel of names. Adding Gaskin to it. Gaskin, wheel of names. Winner, $50 through Venmo. So winner, hit me up on Twitter. Send me whatever info. I've never actually sent money yet on Venmo yet, Coach. So whether you guys probably know better than me, whether you send me your username or your email, whatever. Send me the right info on Twitter at @TheChiefPigskin. Names are in. Let's click to spin. Who's winning $50 of trivia this week? Cold hard cash, baby. Thomas is going to be you or is it going to skip you? It's Medeiros. That's Heitor Medeiros out of Brazil. He's going to be super thankful, Coach. Do you know why? Because the American dollar is times 5.5 in Brazil, which means he just won like $250, baby. He's going to be pumped. He's going to be pumped. I can't wait to tell Heitor Medeiros that he won. Coach, thank you so much for standing by while we played some trivia. Guys, thank you for playing trivia with us. I've had a lot of fun with that this week. We're going to start talking a little ball, and we're going to squeeze in as much as we can the next 10 to 15 minutes. Coach, jet sweep. You're running it under center, out of gun.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Jet sweep, baby. Jet sweep. Why? We'll say when and why, but start with the 30-second answer so I can kind of like interject. 30-second answer of when and why it started to be so heavy jet sweep.
Get the ball in space. Great athlete with the ball in space. That's what we're all trying to do, right?
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Now, take a jet sweep versus maybe the quick game or something. You don't typically drop a jet sweep. You can run it in the rain, you can run it in the snow, you can run it in the wind. It's the same thing. Small school guys out there, like myself, the grass outside the hashes, it's pretty good stuff.
That is a lot better grass.
So, and they're worst tacklers. They're out there too. So this is something that, we've been doing a while now, and we do it really well. And, we're going to keep doing it. It's basically, to stop it, you have to do something that's absurd on defense. And we're going to find out what that is, and we're going to make that hurt too. So, yeah, it's, it's everything that everybody's trying to do now with every offense. It's just more deliberate, put it that way.
Now, Coach, when I have guys that are, because again, we had been a big Rocket team for a while, and several guys that were on my staff while we were running it are head coaches themselves now. And several of them have mentioned, man, we just aren't making Rocket go like we used to. They keep going away from it. When you hear about a team that was once good at Rocket and doesn't seem to be liking it as much, and let's say Rocket Jet, whatever, some perimeter,
right,
Jet or Rocket, what are some of the first things that come to mind for you as to some of the reasons that might be, and how you keep it living?
Well, you have to get the ball to the numbers. Okay, so you can do it with a guy that ain't a super speedster, but you have to force it to the numbers. Okay, when we start having players that want to cut up early, the play's over. It's over. Okay, so you got to force it to the numbers. The defense is trying to attack the line of scrimmage. Their angle is wrong. I mean, they've been conditioned to do the wrong thing. So, and maybe their angle straight to the sideline, but we're racing them to the sideline, getting to the numbers, and we're making our cut out there. It's yards. And I'm not saying that it's a touchdown every play, but everybody in the world will practice inside zone so they can get 5 yards. And maybe they'll do the same with outside zone or power so they can get 5 yards. Because 5 yards is a below average gain for us. We're getting 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. We run on a fourth down, we run on the goal line. It's yards. There's nobody out there. You have a great athlete, they have their worst tacklers. You have your best blockers, they have their worst, block defeaters. It's a complete mismatch. We can formation you, we can add numbers out there, we can do all sorts of stuff. It's, to be honest with you, I don't know why more people don't do it. And, once we started doing it, we went from, a 6-4 team to a 10-0 team. And everybody out here studies the game. They got good coaches. Find out what the defense is doing to try to get extra players on the perimeter. Then you attack that area, and it's fun. Right. I mean, it's fun.
Starts with you. For you, day one install is Jet day one install.
A fourth grade does it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. I'm going to teach it to my son's fourth grade.
Okay. What percentage of the time are you running from under center or out of the gun, or is that per game plan?
Oh, I would say we are probably running 60% under center, 40% out of gun. Gun is real good because you have a lot more places you can distribute the ball after the jet fake, for example. The jet itself is a step slower out of the gun, but if you got a fast guy, it don't matter. There's probably a little bit more deception under center. You can hide the ball a little bit. Some of you purist wing T guys love that.
Right.
You have, to stop it, you have to do something absurd. And in 5 years, I can count the amount of negative plays on one hand that we've had.
Right.
And we probably ran it, between 300 and 400 times.
So huge upside, very little downside.
Correct.
Isn't that a scene out of Wolf of Wall Street? I think that's how it starts. Something with huge upside, very little downside. Thomason's got a question for you, but Thomason, I'm going to sneak a question in first because I like this question, but that's I think it just goes in the next order, in order. Coach, I've had a lot of complaints, and I've complained. We seem to get called for holding a ton on the edge.
Yeah.
But you had some little blocking tips and tricks that help us out.
What do you know? We rarely get called for holding. Okay, so I knew this was going to happen. So I moved my chair away. But if you, the camera, are the defender, and you're pursuing me, our blockers, we're just going to screen you. We're going to run you. We're going to put our hand in your pec. We're going to try to start here, and then we're going to cross the tee. Okay, so my dad, he stole this from Des Moines Dowling 20 years ago, and then he ran it at Wayne State when he was helping out there. But you need to make contact in the midpoint of their body, midline of their body. So you're gonna jack them, and then you're gonna try to, everything in your power is gonna try to cross that tee. You'll either get it done, or they'll cut underneath you. And we train our jet carrier, ball carrier, that somebody's gonna cut underneath the block. We're beating them over top. So
right,
yeah, we don't get called for it. You'll see our kids sometimes they'll put a shoulder into them, instead of a hand. But yeah, we'll knock guys down. I mean,
But the key is that you're not getting that. You're not getting this hand involved.
No,
are you?
Not at all. If you
this is the hand that gets you called for holding. It's this hand.
Yes, you will grab a guy. They will pull away. Ref will see holding. You don't need to do that. Watch a basketball game. They're screening and blocking all the time. They never use their hands. Watch a playground. Watch the kids do it on the playground. Like, honest to goodness, we don't teach much of this because they already do it. It's just how this is the natural way to do it.
Right.
Like grabbing anything. So we're running and getting in the way. And I'll be honest with you, it's physical. It's not soft. Like I'll show you pictures of our running back. He'll just go stick his shoulder into somebody and knock him down. You're never going to get called for holding, you know. It's not like it doesn't happen. I'm not, going to police you, but I mean, it's once every other game, maybe. And usually I get to chew on the ref pretty good about it because it wasn't a hold, Guy got knocked down. And, well, how could that happen?
Yeah, exactly. How else could he have fallen down?
Yeah, we'll run him. We'll run to the sideline doing that. So.
Well, Jay Miller just asked any tips for blocking jet, and he said, you stole my question. Yeah, so there you go, man. And I've seen it on film. And guys, listen, I mean, it is what it is. Coach did a video for the online clinic. The online clinic is amazing. I don't know what else to tell you. Go watch it. If you are into jet sweep, again, when I started watching, so like when Coach presents, I don't get to watch, like, because they're looking at the computer, and I'm back trying to stay out of their way. So when I started editing yours and I started watching those clips, man, I was like, yes, so good. I mean, so many similarities to what we were doing, but I like your way even better. It's even better than what we were doing. And so now I'm excited. I'm like, hey, that's going to keep my rocket alive. You got to have it. You got to have it, right? So now let's go back to Thomason's question, which was, okay, best companion play for when jet is getting taken away. Maybe it's different under center versus and out of the gun. I don't know, but where do you go next?
All right. So they have an apex player, or flat defender. We refer to it as the 9-tech. Okay. So to take jet away, essentially that 9-tech has to be he has to be a super good player, first of all. Okay. Yeah. And he has to be sprinting to the sideline or doing something equally as absurd. Okay. So if you got what play, and you could make it a trivia question, you guys, what play is really good when they have a super wide 9-tech? Well, then you get into your buck sweeps.
Right.
Your buck sweep, your power,
belly
anything
power
that goes right in that alley. So you're widening it. And last night on the show, we were alluding to that. You take your wing, you block everybody down, you take your jet, influence that 9, you're gone. You're gone. We had the second round playoff game this year. So this is against the number 5 team in the state. Okay. First play of the game, we faked a jet sweep through a seam, scored. We got back on offense a couple plays later, stopped them on defense. We faked the jet sweep, ran that short toss, buck sweep, scored again. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. We hadn't run jet yet. But they were selling out. They were doing absurd things to stop it because they knew they had to. You're not going to beat us if you don't stop it. We'll win. So yeah, that's an easy one. Trap is real easy off of it. And guess what? Inside zone. You know, they are flowing sideways, laterally. You can really stick to those doubles and climb up and bury them with inside zone. Just depends on.
So you guys will run some zone. You guys will run some zone too, then.
We will. Not as much as probably most people, but we're just sticking to doubles and climbing and just trying to get real rough with them. No, we like to play rough. You know, we'll beat up anybody if they let us.
Yeah, Pettit asked if do you have any film of this perimeter technique? He needs to see it. I mean he does. So, look up Coach on Twitter. He's a great dude and super friendly. I'm sure he'll help you out if you want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can find you on Twitter. What is it? Because I always get confused by it. It's not at Coach Hughes.
For most of my teaching career, I've been a librarian. So they used to refer to me as the Guibrarian. So
The Guibrarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
At SV Guibrarian. You can go at Cossack football too.
Okay, at SV Guibrarian. I love that. I was a Guibrarian. So I was looking at it today going, I got to figure out how he got this. Okay, so look him up on Twitter at SV Guibrarian. Also at Cossack football, which I learned is a Russian general. They're the Cossacks out of Sioux Valley High School. You can also see his presentation on the online clinic, clinic.chiefpigskin.com. So I'd encourage you guys to check that out. Coach, we are pretty much out of time, but what I love listening to you talk Jet is you get that look in your eye that when I start talking about the things that make me excited, I can tell that you get pumped up about it. You're like, look, like, and I feel it. I can feel your intensity and your excitement for it, man.
Well, here's the thing. All of us are, we always hear about the state championship teams and we always hear about what they're doing and we try to emulate them. But to be honest with you, this is a means where you can take a young team, an inexperienced team, maybe a program that is struggling. The vast majority of teams fit into these labels. You can take them and have one good athlete and one good blocker and win. And I don't know if it's like the world's best kept secret. I don't know what the deal is. But now instead of having 5 linemen and a tight end or 2 that need to block and execute and yada yada, we just got one block and we got a guy in space and we're getting yards. And to be honest with you, we had a real young team a couple years ago. We were playing a top 5 team. We had a drive. It was a 22-play drive. We ran jet 18 at the plays and scored and put the game away. So this is a staple. This is like dive or crap. This is a staple. This isn't some gimmick that some weird guy from South Dakota is trying to sell everybody. But this is a means to win games with young players and inexperienced guys, whatever. And
when you guys see them on film, you'll see, I mean, a lot of very good athletes. You can tell, you guys know, you're a football coach. You can tell when you're seeing good football on film. And as soon as you turn it on, you'll see that this is good football. And you know what? Sometimes I get this question when I would talk about Rocket, because I had been asked to talk about Rocket several times in my career. And it never fails. Somebody will go, well, what if you're playing someone that has a 9 and an overhang? And I'm always like, why would they, how are they getting away with that? That's why I would say, well, then we run something else.
Yeah.
Because they're playing with 2 guys out there.
Well, I was watching film before we logged in. We got our schedules came out today, and one of the teams we're going to play does that. And think about it this way. If you're just a regular zone team, I team, whatever, don't you want that? Don't you want them taking their box guys and putting them outside? I mean, we got that. That's what they're going to do against us. We'll just let them have it. Here we go, right at you.
Yes,
and we got seams. And,
we got another great question that actually I've always wondered too, because I felt like for me and my team, we wanted to choose one, jet or rocket. I had a hard time deciding. I ended up landing on rocket. Why did you land on jet?
To the God's honest truth, in my opinion, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be this versus that. They have separate roles. So if you got a real tight 9 tech, okay, and you have a good blocker, you have leverage, you formation them, run rocket and get it out there. Just get it out there, okay? Jet, it's just a different deal where there's a little more deception. So you can take jet and they may not know where the ball is. You can fake the jet and they'll run to the sideline and you can hit a seam or whatever. They're just kind of different animals. But a really cool thing, and we do this, and I learned this year, we can take that rocket motion or that motion that goes to the running back or with the running back, we can motion him clear out there to the numbers. And if they don't bring anybody outside the box to cover him, we'll just pitch it or throw it out to him. And now we're 3-on-2 or 2-on-1. And then, next play, they'll have a linebacker run out there with him. Well, then we're just going to run power right where that linebacker was, or zone right where that linebacker was.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll run a safety out there because they're just going to run trap or power if the linebacker goes. So they'll run the safety. Right. Well, then we're running a skinny post right where he wasn't scoring. So, and this is all we work on. We work on this constantly.
Right.
And it's points, guys. it's the real deal.
And that's what, for me, and again, I there's lots of ways to score points. That's been proven, but this is probably my favorite way. It's a very, I just love how we know who we're watching. We're going to run this. We know who we're watching. If they this, then we this. If they this, then we this.
Yeah, it's very sequential.
I love that.
It really is. And yet, if you still have a mismatch, like if you have your bunch of good players, you can just bury it. It's
right.
If you look at our scores, it's 50s and it's crooked numbers.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, I've had a blast talking this. Oh, I got to sneak this question in. Out of the gun, do you pitch it forward or you just hand it to them?
You hand it. And here's why. And you have to hand it. Okay?
I want to hear this because I've always wondered why they got pitchy guys pitch. So tell me a good reason to hand it.
Now, the theory is if you pitch it and they drop it, it's an incomplete pass, yada, yada. Okay. But here's why you have to hand it off. The eyes of the running back need to be up so he can read the blocks in front of him and read and see what's going on in front of him. Okay? Yes. So if you pitch it, his eyes are down, all kinds of missed opportunities will occur. You want his eyes up. You want your running back's eyes up. They smoke the edge. Let's say they're sitting in cover 2 or they blitz a corner, which happens. You're one cut away from scoring. If he has his eyes down, he could probably get hit. We want the eyes up, and you have to have their eyes up. They'll make up that extra step. They'll make up any type of maybe disadvantage they had by having the pitch. So
I like that. I liked hearing that. Here's why it's got to be. That's a great, very well said, Coach. Man, Coach, I had a blast. Guys, look up Coach on Twitter at SVGuybrarian or at Cossacks Football. Also, hey, look us up. Follow us at The Chief Pigskin. Leave us a thumbs up. If it's all right,
I'd love to plug our clinic. We have Kalen DeBoer.
Please do, Coach. Please do.
Yeah, head coach at Fresno State. He's a South Dakota native. He's volunteering to fly back and be the keynote at our clinic. It's in 2 weeks. It's all in person. We want you to show up. It's in Sioux Falls. Follow my Twitter. There's links there. But yeah, we got a great event coming up. So.
And you said that's in 2 weekends?
Yep, it'd be the 26th. So Augustana's going to practice that Friday night, the 25th. We'll have our Hall of Fame induction that night. Then we'll have a social at Great Shots. That should be fun, by the way.
Yes, yes.
And then the following day, we'll have Coach DeBoer from Fresno come out. And then, we'll have all sorts of local wonderful coaches speak.
So I don't have my calendar in front of me. Is that Thursday night Friday or Friday night Saturday?
Yep, Friday Saturday. So
guys, look it up, man. If you're anywhere nearby or can get there, and remember, I heard somebody say, a long drive is only relative to how bad you want to get something done. You know what I mean? So I'm familiar with a long drive myself, man. Coach, just loved this conversation. All you guys, also one last time, I want to shout out my sponsor, Coach Klee. Coach, the winner, hit me up for your $50 through Venmo. Look up Coach Klee. Subscribe below as we leave here. Coach, I hope to have you back on sometime.
Yeah, anytime. I love talking football. I love what you're doing. It's awesome being able to connect with a lot of different people from all over the country and just absolutely love talking football. So
cool. Awesome, man. So great to meet you. And I know now as I look at South Dakota football, I expect you guys' names to be up there at the top for a long time.
We'll do our best. We'll have fun doing it regardless. So.
Okay. All right, Coach. Good night.
Yep, good night.
All you guys, thanks so much for joining me. What a great night it was and a great week of conversation. We'll be back next Monday. I hope you'll stop in and check on us.